Hello boys and girls, and welcome to lesson 6, chapter 1, equivalent ratios. As you see on the top there, this is page 59. Now, equivalent ratios, this is what we've been working on for about 3 weeks now. If you know proportional relationships, the way we were doing 1 over 2 is the same as 2 over 4, and it continues on, okay, or 3 over 6, those are equivalent ratios. They're equivalent fractions. And you can see here on this example that we have, for example, number of prints. You can print 10 pages for $2. And here we have 30 pages for $6. That means we triple the amount here. You see that? 2 times 3 is 6. So we do the same to the 10. 10 times 3 is 30. So those are equivalent fractions, and we're just going to write them right here. Let me turn the camera off, and let's get to work. Okay, let's start by reading. Andrea spent $2 to make 10 prints from a photo booth. Later, she spent $6 to make 30 prints. So you see it graphed right there. Number of prints, 10, 30, cost $2.06. It's $2 and $6. Okay, let's see what we have to do for number 1. Express the relationship between the number of prints she made and the total cost for each situation as a rate in fraction form. Alright, so here we're going to compare them. So here we had the prints, okay, the first prints, which were 10, and that cost $2. Here we had 30 prints, which cost $6, right there. So you can see how these two are equivalent, right? We multiply the 2 times 3 to get 6, or the 10 times 3 to get 30, okay, and they've incremented. They have a proportional relationship. They are equivalent ratios. Now, we can also add to it, if we wanted to find the unit rate, and we brought this down to a 1, we would have to bring the 10 down to a 5, right? Because we half the 2 to 1, and we half the 10 to 5. And we can keep going this way as well, right? And let's say I wanted to maybe make this a 3, right? What would I have to do to the 10? Well, it's going up. Here's our unit rate. So here we only have 1, and here we have 3. That means I need 3 of these up here to make it 15. You see? And we can continue on. If we wanted to double this to 12, we can double it to 60. So we could say she can get 60 prints for $12. Please add these additional notes I've made, and also add your star right there as a key answer. Okay, number 2. Compare the relationship between the numerators of each rate in exercise 1. Compare the relationship between the denominators of these rates. So remember, the numerator is the top number, okay? And the denominator is the bottom number. And we're trying to compare the relationship. Well, let's think about it as we look at it. We see our numerator, and we compare it to the second numerator, and we see that it's 3 times the value. Okay, 10 times 3 is 30. And we look at the denominator, and we see that the denominator and the second denominator is 3 times the value of the first one, so it's 2 times 3. So whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. As you see right there, times 3 equals 6, 10 times 3 is 30. Okay, so here I have it written for you. Go ahead and write this down. The numerator in the second rate is 3 times the numerator in the first rate. And also, the denominator in the second rate is 3 times the denominator in the first rate. So they're both 3 times. Okay, number 3. What is the unit rate for 10 prints? Okay, we did this. We've already done this. We did it in the beginning. So you know that you get 10 prints, it costs $2. Well, half of that would be $1, and that's your unit rate. Just like that. So you have 10 prints for $2. Well, you want to pay just $1, your unit rate, okay? 1 is 5. Question 4, what is the unit rate for 30 prints? Okay, well, 30 prints, we have the same thing, right? 30 prints, we have 30 over 6. If we divide them both by 6 to get down to 1 unit rate, divide the top by 6, and you get 5. Are the rates in exercise 1 equivalent? Explain. Of course they are. You can see that for both of them, you can get 5 prints for $1. So they are equivalent. So yes, they have the same unit rate of 5 prints for $1. Okay, now we're going to look at page 60 at the two examples at the bottom. Determine if each pair of rates is equivalent. Explain your reasoning. Okay, so here we have 36 t-shirts in 3 boxes. Let's write that down. We have 36 t-shirts in 3 boxes. And it's saying here 60 t-shirts in 6 boxes. Okay, let's compare. Let's put 60 in 6 boxes. Well, boys and girls, we have to see what did we do to the 3 to make it into 6. We simply doubled it, right? So we can write on there, we multiplied it by 2. And that gives us 6. If we do the same thing to the top, because the rule is whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So if we do to the top, 36 times 2, well, we know that is 72. 36 times 2 is 72. So this is not equal. Okay, well now we're being asked if they are equivalent, okay, and we have to explain our rationale. Well, if we look at this and we try to bring it down to a unit rate, okay, we bring the 3 down to a 1. You see that right there. We have to do the same thing to the 36. So we divided the 3 by 3 to get 1. We divide it down by 3, so we have to divide 36 by 3, and that'll give us 12. Okay? And let's do the same thing with the 60. We have to bring this down to the unit, so 1. So we have to divide that by 6, and we must divide now the 60 by 6, and we get 10. Okay? So as we can see up here, boys and girls, no. Since the unit rates are 12 to 1, as you see there, 12 to 1, and 10 to 1, as you see right there, the rates are not equivalent. Okay, let's look at B. 42 flowers and 7 vases, or some people pronounce it as vases. I say vases. 54 flowers in 9 vases. Okay, so we have 42 flowers and 7 vases. Let's write that down. Okay, so there we have both our ratios, 42 in 7 vases and 54 flowers in 9 vases. Now here's what we can do as well. We can just bring it down to a unit rate. If I bring the 7 down to a 1, it means I had to divide the 7 by 7, right? I must divide the 42 by 7, and I get 6. So it's 6 flowers to 1 vase. Let's do the same thing to the other. Okay, I must divide the 9 divided by 9, so I get 1, and I'm going to divide the 54 by 9, and that'll give me 6. So there we go. It's also 6 flowers to 1 vase, and these are equivalent. Okay, so question B. Yes, we're answering the question. Are they equivalent? Yes, they are. Since the unit rates are both 6 to 1, 6 flowers to 1 vase, the rates are equivalent. Okay, here is our key answer for today. If some of you remember, this is Cristobal, the time him and I went hiking. Okay, and these squiggly lines are the wind blowing through him as he falls in the sky. Alright, boys and girls. Continuing on to page 61, we have 2 word problems here. Feel free to pause the video and take a look at the example. Okay? Also, you can look at them in your textbook. Well, let's jump right ahead to C and D. Maria made 10 bracelets for 5 friends. Jen made 12 bracelets for 4 friends. Are these rates equivalent? Explain your reasoning. Okay, let's see. We have 10 bracelets for 5 friends, and we have 12 bracelets for 4 friends. If I were to bring it down to a unit rate, I would have 1 and 2, right? And over here, I would have 1 and 3. You see what I did? I divided this by 4 to get the 1, and I divide the 12 as also I divided, sorry, that's supposed to be division. I also divide it by 4. So I do the same here. I divide the 5 by 5 to get the 1, and I divide the 10 by 5 to get my 2. Whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. Okay? So we can see, boys and girls, that here our unit rate is 2 to 1, and here our unit rate is 3 to 1. So that means that these friends are each getting 2 bracelets, and these friends are each getting 3 bracelets. So are they equivalent? Well, no. Let's explain our answer. No, they're not equivalent. Since the rates are 2 to 1 and 3 to 1, the rates are not equivalent. 2 bracelets for one person, and this one are 3 bracelets per person. Not equivalent. Okay, let's look at D. Club A raised $168 by washing 42 cars. Club B raised $152 by washing 38 cars. Are these fundraising rates equivalent? Explain your reasoning. So here's both our rates. Okay, we have $168 for 42 cars and $152 for 38 cars. Let's bring these down to unit rates. If you don't remember how to bring this down for unit rate, make sure that you find the greatest common factor for both the denominator and the numerator. Same here, find the greatest common factor and then divide both values by that great common factor, and you should have it. As some of you can see, this number is divisible by 42, because if you multiply 40 times 4, you get 160, and then 2 times 4 is 8. So 42 times 4 is 160. So right there you can see that this is 1 and these are 4. Okay? Let's check 152 to 38. Okay, to reduce this one, it wasn't as obvious to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the guess, check, and revise process. So I'm going to just check to see if 38 can be multiplied times 4. Okay, just to see if I get 152. And when I multiply 38 times 4, I actually get 152. So really, I can say that here's 138 and here are 4 of them. So boys and girls, the unit rate for both is $4 per car. $4 per car. I'll use blue this time, it's easier to see. So yes, since the unit rates are the same, which are $4 for one car, the rates are equivalent. Okay, go ahead and copy that down. And let's see how well you can draw a butterfly. Go ahead. Moving on to page 62, question E. Mrs. Jeffries has 12 girls out of 16 students on the student council. The Earth Day Committee has 4 girls out of 8 students. Are the ratios equivalent? Explain your reasoning. Okay, so we have 12 girls out of 16, as you can see right there, and 4 girls out of 8 on the Earth Club, as you can see right there. Okay, we have, let's simplify these. Let's simplify these ratios, just the same way you simplify fractions. If I were to find the greatest common factor for 12 and 16, it would be 4. And I know that 12 has 3/4 and 16 has 4/4, so it's 3/4. The greatest common factor for 4 and 8 is also 4. And at the top I have 1/4, and at the bottom the denominator has 2/4. See that? So here I have 3/4 and here I have 1/2. Are these ratios equivalent? Clearly not. So let's write it right there. They're not equivalent. No. Since 3 out of 4 girls is not equivalent to 1 out of 2. 3/4 is not equivalent to half. The ratios are not equivalent. Okay, now I'm really going to test your artistic skills. For the sake of Annie, who loves her unicorns, your key answer is drawing a unicorn. That is my best attempt. Okay, I'll see you in class.